Is spirituality something you're scared of? Is it something that you've been putting on hold for a very long time? Stay tuned for this video and you'll be starting your spiritual path right after this. Spiritually running is something that a lot of people do, and it's a lot of the time like perceived in different ways. Like you can be spiritually running on your spiritual path, right? Like you can be at a steady pace, you can be going along your spiritual path, and then you might hit a dip, but then you go back up, and then you might ride the wave for a minute, but then actually what happens is that wave gets if you look from here, it gets more steady and steady to where you can actually like learn to ride through the negative, and you can learn to ride through the positive waves, and all of that makes up the whole. So there's running on your spiritual path, which is good, but like everything, there's a good and bad aspect. Like you can be running away from your spiritual path, you can be running away from spirit. Like it all depends on whether you can see the synchronicity within your life, because if you can see the synchronicity within your life, and synchronicity can be perceived in all different ways, you can start following that synchronicity, you can start following that way that spirit is actually communicating with you, and this provides you to get going on your spiritual path. This provides you to keep moving forward, but then you can be running from your spiritual path. And some people, they might see the synchronicity, they might see the spiritual confirmations, they might see all this stuff, but then they're actually putting it to the side. They're not actually taking their spiritual confirmations that they're getting, their spiritual path as serious as it could be, because it depends on how you want to move forward within your own reality, within your own spirit. Like a lot of people, they will run away from spirituality, but then later they'll actually begin to like spirituality due to certain experiences that they have. And this can all depend on who you're surrounding yourself with, what kind of information you're getting. All sorts of things come into play whenever your spirituality is something that comes into conversation, because whenever you start talking about spirituality, like you might see the people, they might try to separate themselves from the conversation because they don't want to talk about spirituality. They're subconsciously spiritually running away, and this is something that you can point out whenever you start having these pretty much conversations within your own spiritual path, and you start getting more connected with people on a spiritual level, in the physical, and not even in the physical. Like someone might portray themselves as being spiritual, and then you start getting in this conversation and they don't really take that deep aspect into going into that spiritual water, going into that clean spiritual water. So you can point out these people very easily. It just depends on what vibration you're on, because the vibration you're on is going to show not only other people around you, but it's going to show yourself if you're actually spiritually running on the spiritual path in the right way, or you're spiritually running away from the spiritual path. Because in the end, like, you're going to be judging yourself whether you went on your spiritual path, you did your disciplines, you did the actions that you needed to take in order to gain that next level of vibration within your own subjective reality. So you're going to have to judge yourself constantly, and judging, it can be good, it can be bad. There's all these different aspects into seeing how your spirituality can actually work for you, or it can work against you, because your spirituality, like, everything is spiritual. Your physical, your mental, and your spiritual aspects of yourself create one, which is spirit. So you can be physically running away from your spirituality. You can be mentally running away from your spirituality. You can be spiritually running away from your spirituality, because if you're physically and mentally running away from your spirituality, then you're spiritually running away from your spirituality, because spirituality makes up all these points. So this is going into having that perspective of knowing that everything is spiritual, because if you can become aware that you're physically running from spirituality, you're mentally running from spirituality, that's where you can change. That's where you're actually being able to not only see things, but change your perception on things, because now you see what you've been doing. You might see certain cycles you've been in that are keeping you away from getting certain spiritual information. You'll see all these different aspects of spirituality come into fruition through your experiences, and then you'll be able to see, oh, maybe I should be paying more attention to the experiences that are coming to me. And now I can see how in the past I've been denying this, but when I took action and actually started keeping on my spiritual path moving forward, once I got these confirmations, I got a lot more. I got a lot of information that actually helped me to apply more of my disciplines within my life, more of my actions to keep on the spiritual path. So keep in consideration when you're moving through reality, when you're in your mind, when you're in your spirit, when you're in your body, you want to be moving through your spirit. It goes spirit, mind, and body for a reason. A lot of people, they have mind, body, spirit. They have body, mind, spirit. They have spirit, mind, body. All these different things come into play whenever people are in this reality. Everyone's different. There's going to be those people that are always going to be in tune with their mind, never reach their spirit. There's going to be those people who always are constructed through their body to perform certain physical things that never connect them with their spirit. And just because your mind and body is spiritual too doesn't mean you're connecting with your spirit. You have to unlock that spiritual aspect of it. You have to change your perception, you have to change your actions, you have to change the way that you do everything, because once you change the way you do everything within your life and always have that spiritual aspect coming first, then you can go and do the things your mind and body will have you doing, but it'll be benefiting you in a way that can connect you more with your spirit. You won't just be doing it in an ignorant way anymore. You're going to be doing it in a more aware way, to where now you're able to get the codes, you're able to run on that spiritual path instead of run away from the spiritual path. It might start as a walk, but eventually it'll be a jog, eventually it'll be a run, and eventually you'll be sprinting on that spiritual path. So constantly check yourself, constantly become aware of the things that are holding you back, because if you break the things that are holding you back, you move forward. That's just a universal law. So take that into consideration, and I'll make a video about the universal law. Like, there's a lot of different things that play into spirituality with certain universal laws. So stay tuned for that video, and then get connected, turn up, and thanks for watching.
Vibes.
VIBERNATION team here,
Inviting you guys
to check out our website
at VIBERNATION.com.
Here you can find out more of what VIBERNATION is about.
And get to know our team.
You can also find high vibrational information and products
covering all aspects spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Not to mention, by joining our mailing list,
you'll have opportunities to exclusive deals and never before seen information.
And if you'd like to connect with us more,
follow us on Instagram at VIBERNATION Official.
And get to vibe closer with our team.
and, of course,
our deepest gratitude for watching.